episode of In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, CEO of Academia.edu, and as always, I'm here to take you on a friendly journey through today's most intriguing academic research, papers that, challenge assumptions and spark curiosity. Remember, I'm just here to present the research, so no endorsements or definite truths, okay? It's all about exploring ideas and thinking for yourself. So today we dive into a paper by David G. Little, also known as Swami Munamurti Saraswati. Super cool title, Quantum Soma, a transmission study of scalar Soma fields and consciousness architecture. Whew, that's a mouthful. The work brings together yoga, quantum biology, ceremony, fascia. Honestly, it's an impressive mix of ancient and cutting-edge vision. Again, not claiming anything here is the truth, just presenting fascinating research for your own reflection. Let's start by framing the core question. This paper tackles something really unusual. Can the human body be understood as a kind of quantum router? What? Yeah. The key question is, could fascia, the webbing that holds us together under our skin, actually act like a liquid crystal transmitting consciousness, light, and memory? And, is it possible that breathwork and ancient practices modulate this physical energetic field? Pretty wild, right? Why is this significant? Because if even part of it holds water, it might reframe how we think about health, consciousness, memory, maybe even the connection between body and mind. That's a big deal. David G. Little draws from a who's who of thinkers, especially Dr. Richard Alan Miller and Dr. Max Rempel, who have both contributed ideas about DNA resonance, ATP fields, and biophotonic signaling. I'll remind you several times, my role is to tread the middle. I'm not here to say the body is absolutely an astral antenna or anything definitive, but it's clear the paper is creative and ambitious. So let's walk through some of the key ideas and findings. First, fascia. Now, if you've had a massage, you've heard of fascia. It's that tough tissue under your skin, and well, apparently it's everywhere. The paper says fascia isn't just structural support. Instead, it might be a liquid crystal matrix. Imagine a network that transmits light and information. In Little's model, when you breathe deeply or use special breath sequences, you're actually activating this fascia to light up, transmit information, and maybe unlock hidden potential in your body. Fascia knots, old memory packets, the author suggests. Through breathwork, yoga, and ceremony, you untie them and release both physical and energetic stagnation. There's even a law in the Codex, Little's ceremonial framework, that reads, when knots are untied, consciousness flows uninterrupted. So every time you stretch or hold an asana in yoga, you're not just stretching muscle. You might be wringing out layers of old tension, emotion, maybe even memories. Heretofore, asanas are like wringing out a wet towel. Kind of vivid. Okay, where's the quantum come in? The next piece is ATP and plasma field. Traditionally, ATP is the molecule that carries energy in your cells, but Little draws on Miller's ideas to suggest ATP behaves like plasma intelligence, a field that can broadcast intention and signals across the body. Through breathing and movement, these ATP surges combine with fascia conductivity to broadcast psychoplasmic signals. That's a loaded phrase, but at heart it means your energy isn't just chemical, it's also informational, maybe even quantum in some strange sense. There's more, the microtubules. These are tiny structures in your cells that help maintain shape and carry out important transport tasks. But in this paper, and in the broader theories of Hameroff, Miller, and Rempel, microtubules might also oscillate and transmit information at quantum frequencies, linking them to DNA, resonance, and cellular communication. Little envisions microtubules as quantum switchboards. So your body isn't just a bag of cells, but a coherent broadcast system organized by breath, intention, and maybe even vow. There are some seriously colorful diagrams in the paper, scrolls, nodes, light channels, archives, though without visuals here, I'll let your imagination run wild. An interesting side note, while I was reading this, it reminded me of those sci-fi movies where people have tattoos that unlock hidden doors or start machines. Except here, the scrolls and glyphs are inside your fascia and DNA. Am I really comparing ancient yoga to futuristic sci-fi? Hey, I guess I am. Sometimes ideas bleed together in your brain. But anyway, let me not spiral out. Remember, our role isn't to say this is proven or this is pseudoscience. It's to listen deeply, reflect, and see if any of these ideas spark insights for your own health, meditation practice, or sense of wonder. Maybe next time you do a stretch or take a conscious breath, you might wonder, is something special happening beneath the surface? It's food for thought. So wrapping up, David G. Little's Quantum Soma is a mix of quantum ideas, anatomy, old ritual, and honestly, poetic metaphor. It proposes the body as a living network where breath, movement, and intention reorganize who we are, perhaps all the way down to the quantum. Will this become consensus science? I've got to say, who knows? But as always, academic research is less about finding final answers and more about expanding what questions we're willing to ask. Thanks for listening to this episode of In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, keeping things open, curious, and reminding you, every paper is a starting point, not the final word. Until next time, stay inquisitive.